Did you know, according to the FFA, seatbelts reduce major injuries in airplanes by more than 88%. Now, as most of you would have known, seatbelts must be worn at all times whilst travelling in a motor vehicle within Australia. However, on an airplane, this is not strictly enforced. In this video, we'll be talking about the features and purposes of seatbelts, focusing on the concept of safety and injury prevention. We'll also be discussing how airlines achieve the right balance between safety v comfort and cost v minimum requirements, and which is more important. Now, Jacob, clearly explain seatbelts under close examination.
A lot of people ask why we wear a lap strap seat belt in comparison to a shoulder strap seat belt. Well, the reasons as to why we do this is followed below. One of the reasons as to why we have a lap belt instead of a shoulder belt is for passenger compliance. Flight attendants have difficulty enough persuading passengers to wear a lap belt. Presumably, they'll have much greater difficulty getting passengers to wear a more restrictive seatbelt. The lap belt is safe enough for the contingencies it is designed to accommodate. There are some differences in the types of seatbelts used on an aircraft. For example, a pilot have a 5-point seatbelt in comparison to passengers which have a 1-point. The reason as to why pilots and crew have 5-point seatbelts is that they can regain control of the aircraft.
In this section, I'm going to talk about the purpose of the seatbelt. A seatbelt can be categorized as a device that protects passengers in terms of safety. It can restrain body movement when external force applied to it. It can prevent the impact of turbulence, reduce forward momentum, and impulse that prevent injuries. Under such circumstances, seatbelts can minimize the contact between bodies and the interior of the aircraft or vehicles, and it can also greatly reduce the chance of passengers being further injured due to the external force. There is also another aviation example that tells us how seatbelts can fail sometimes. The death of victims in Asiana Airline Flight 214 can be attributed as the failure of seatbelts, because the seatbelt can only restrain the midsection of the victims but not the whole body. Now, Ferdinand, talk to us about the perceived flaws and limitations of seatbelts.
Poor design is normally a result of failure to consider human factors. For example, anthropometry is ignored. Consequences are induced errors, increased stress, and induced fatigue. Design of seatbelts for airlines is a concept of cost versus comfort. Lap belts are more comfortable than harness belts, which is better for a passenger perspective, and airlines only attempt to satisfy minimum clearance requirements. Seatbelts are also not standardized. There are 3 types: automotive style push button belt, utility buckle flat belt, and rotary buckle. And the question is, why do cars have a safer 3-point system compared to a lap belt on an aircraft? The reason is because they have different purposes. A car's purpose is to prevent rapid deceleration and hitting the steering wheel, whereas with an airline is to prevent the impacts of turbulence.
Now, Lee, how are seatbelts not user-friendly?
A user-friendly design should fit both the environmental and human characteristics. With respect to airline seatbelts, there are a few problems that exist. Firstly, the design of airline seatbelts is different from car seatbelts. Using airline seatbelts needs to lift the buckle, while using car seatbelts needs to push button. It is quite confusing for passengers to fasten their seatbelts if they are not so familiar with both styles. Secondly, when it is an emergency situation, clearance can become an issue, especially with passengers overweight, and requires seatbelt extenders. It is more complex for them to remove their seatbelts. Thirdly, lap belt with left latch buckle release is the most common type of seatbelt adopted by airlines. Compared to 3 or 5-point seatbelts, it is less safe and comfortable from the passenger's perspective.
Jason, what are the potential problems of interacting with seatbelts?
Unlike the most common push-button seatbelt in cars, the use of lap belts in airplanes is considered quite unintuitive, especially to those traveling on airplanes for the first time. They're not sure on how exactly lap belt works and how they can be adjusted and unbuckled. This might pose a life-threatening entanglement hazard to them and even to frequent flyers when it comes to a highly stressed environment. Secondly, lap belts restrain only the midsection of the body. It is possible, if not highly likely, to cause internal injuries to passengers when impact occurs.
Ferdinand, how can seatbelts be modified or improved?
Modifying or improving seatbelts, one must take into account the static and dynamic dimensions like body metrics, center of gravity, and inertial properties. So a possible solution for this problem would be belts with integrated airbags. Airbags remove the need for a head-down brace position and they can remain upright. Also remove the belt buckle in the stomach area, and moreover, instead of manually adjusted straps, have automatic ones like in cars, which are custom and designed for the person as they're normally left loose or insecure. And finally, the best alternative would be to turn all the seats around, but this would interfere with cost and comfort.
Conclusively, airplane seatbelts are not as safe as car seatbelts, however they are compatible with their purpose. Improvements in seatbelts aimed to address improved safety needs is limited by the overarching theme of safety being comfort, as airlines ultimately aim to maximize comfort and reduce safety costs.
I hope this video gives you a good insight into design and operation of seatbelts.